Armstrong still down there pondering as to whether he should come back on as the corner is taken, and Mark Wright gets the shot in. That's an excellent save. Well, Southampton not distracted by the temporary loss of Armstrong, and it is temporary because he's now come back onto the pitch. And Mark Wright twisting here to hit it well, although it was an awkward height, and Lukic responding equally well. Rocastle. Quinn calling for an early cross, but in fact it's played down the channel to where referee Howard King spots the foul by Wright on Perry Groves in a duel of the redheads. Adams and Anderson from the back have made their way forward. And Flowers hesitates, and Anderson with an easier chance there than he had for England at Wembley against Yugoslavia when he scored with such aplomb. But Tim Flowers was indecisive. It really looked as though it should be the goalkeeper's ball, but he stayed on his line and Anderson put it wide. In a sense, epitomises Lawrence, really. He'll make mistakes, but he'll battle for you, and he's won it back from Sanson. Wallace. And it hits the post, and Clark! Was it over the line? No, and Colin Clark misses a gilt-edged opportunity for Southampton, set up for him by Wallace. It was a strange break, really, but a purposeful one. Sanson couldn't tackle there. It would have been a penalty if he got it wrong. It was over Lukic, inside of the post, and Clark shouldn't have needed a second touch. He should have buried it. Well, the buzz still going round the Dell. And Colin Clark reflecting. Possibly he was surprised that the ball arrived off the inside of the post. He'd certainly followed it in properly after Wallace had done all the work. Groves is onside. And Flowers with really his most difficult save so far. The cross was deflected, the goalkeeper had to backpedal. Groves had caught Southampton square. It looped up off Gittins, and the goalkeeper did well. Three minutes of the first half remaining. Anderson off the line by Jerry Forrest. Flowers didn't get there that time, and Anderson deflected it on. Forrest was there. Southampton's last home game was 10 days ago when they crushed Manchester United 4-1 in the Littlewoods Cup. That was the match which led to the demise of Ron Atkinson. Anderson. After the shot we saw of Anderson and Sanson continuing that argument as they walked in at half-time, I wonder whether there were some stern words in the Arsenal dressing room. And just to refer back to that 4-1 win over Manchester United, Matt Le Tissier, who's an 18-year-old who comes from Guernsey, scored 2 goals in that game. Never afraid to hold the ball. But this is Lawrence. Clark to his right. Lawrence! And in comes Clark. And Lukic in the right place again. The goalkeeper having difficulty with Lawrence's first shot. But this is Perry Groves as the action switches to the other end. And Flowers, who brings down Groves, a penalty. conceded by the deputy for Peter Shilton. A desperate moment for him. One of delight for Groves, with Southampton still thinking about the double chance at the other end. And caught by the speed of Groves, it looked as though he'd overrun it, but then he touched it round Flowers, and no doubt that it was a penalty. And Flowers, it's much more serious than it first seemed. Does Le Tissier come on? Who goes in goal? And whoever it is, his first task is to face a penalty, and it's going to be Colin Clark. So can one striker outwit another in a most unusual episode? Colin Clark goes in goal. Matt Le Tissier, the substitute for Southampton, comes on. And Arsenal still have to wait to see whether they can accept this chance of taking the lead. He scores! A tribute to his nerve. His fourth penalty. But he didn't expect to take one here past Colin Clark. Arsenal score 9 minutes into the second half, but of course there will be at least 4 minutes of injury time. Quinn away on the far side. It's a delightful turn. Groves. I think he might have preferred the advantage, but Howard King a little concerned about the nature of Southampton's tackling at the moment. Le Tissier being warned about his conduct. Now the sensible thing here is to just hang it in close to the goalkeeper. And Clark is beaten by Viv Anderson, 2-0. Anderson came close enough against Flowers in the first half, but this time it's past Colin Clark, and it's despair here really for Southampton. It was a very sensible free kick to examine the goalkeeper if an Arsenal head could get to it, and Clark not equal to the task. 17 minutes into the second half and Arsenal lead 2-0. Two goals for Arsenal in an 8-minute spell, both past a stand-in goalkeeper. Hayes. Le Tissier. Quinn. Oh, that was skillfully done and well saved. Quinn showing confidence on the ground, Clark confidence in the dive. I remember this moment for a long time. Quinn had a second thought and then really let rip. Anderson right in front of the goalkeeper as Quinn looks on the edge of the area, and it was a weak corner really. Forrest. Hayes did better with the second ball in. So awkward for defenders accustomed to trusting the judgment of regular goalkeepers. In comes Quinn. 3-0. Niall Quinn with Anderson the distraction. It's falling apart for Southampton, and Arsenal are surely now on the way to another 3 points. Quinn was there, Anderson trying to flick it on himself. But I don't think they'll take that one away from Quinn, who's been short of goals himself, although he's done a good job for the side. Wallace got a long way to go. He's found Lawrence, who's holding off Adams. The linesman is flagging. Howard King points for a penalty. Adams was losing the battle. Arms were outstretched from both players. And there was the tug, and it was inside the area. The linesman helped by signalling as well. Glenn Cockrell missed the last penalty that Southampton had here against Manchester City, so it's Danny Wallace who accepts the responsibility. And wastes the opportunity. Le Tissier, oh dear. You wonder what more can go wrong for Southampton. Lukic gets the right way. Wallace was in a hurry to take it. And Lukic did very well indeed. And then Le Tissier got it past the goalkeeper, but past the post. Prepared to take on Sansom. He's shown one or two neat manoeuvres, just to no real purpose then. But the Southampton supporters already talking of the potential, and of course the club, although keeping a low profile as they rightly should do on a youngster, know that Matt Le Tissier has a great chance of making the grade. But here's Perry Groves with a great chance to make it 4. A goal which is owed totally to Southampton's deficiencies at the back. Clark didn't read it. Groves kept running. And from John Lukic's massive clearance, Arsenal in the end go 4 in front. Clark hesitated. Groves pounced. Cockrell. John Lukic protecting his clean sheet with the penalty save, the highlight of his day. Well, this match turned on an incident 5 minutes into the second half when Tim Flowers had to go off injured and Colin Clark had to fill in goal. Flowers had brought down Perry Groves when he got a bang in the face, and Clark's first job was to face the penalty, which was scored by Martin Hayes, and Arsenal never looked back.